uncle.
Fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 pounds of back bacon,
3 French toast,
2 turtlenecks,
and a beer
in a tree.
Hey everybody, Paul Shammer here. Gonna do a quick unboxing here of this light from Panvillo. It's gonna be a Mate 2000, 200 watt LM301B Samsung diode meanwhile driver light, I believe, with a dimmer. Gonna put this in a 27 by 27 inch tent and see how it looks. We'll be doing a full grill with this after we do this video. And yeah, I'll say it's taken me a couple weeks to get this done, so thanks for being patient, Panvillo, and Merry Christmas to everybody, Happy Holidays, whatever you do or don't do. Hope you're having a great season and everything's going good for you. So let's get this thing open and see what's inside. All right. So as you can see, came in an Amazon box. Doesn't say anything on it except Amazon, your address. So that's nice. Neighbors and the postman will have no idea. There was some space in here. I could feel it rattling around. I'm a little concerned about that, but the box looks good, so I'm hoping the inside looks good too. It's about the right size box for 200 watt light. It's been rattling around, but it looks like it's wrapped pretty good. Get rid of that. So here we got this box. That's about the right size for this light. Nicely packed. All foamed up. Oh, that's beautiful. Very nice looking board. Some sort of a gray graphite-y coating. The wire connections are all covered with these nice little plastic covers. Oh, that's sweet. Very nice looking board. Looks like we got several different spectrums of light in there. And I'm not sure if those are infrared or UV. I'm guessing they're far red. Probably. So we'll look at the specs at some point here. We got the Meanwhile XLG240 HAB on there. I'll say that there's a few dings on that, but I don't care how it works. Got a little piece of tape on it. Show what it's all about. But this is a very nice looking board. Really impressed with these little cutouts, as you can see here. Get that closer. Nice little spot here so the clip will go in real easily. That's sweet. A couple of nice little hangers. Got the wire hangers if you want to use those. I usually don't bother with those because I can get it a lot closer to the top with just using 2 of these hangers. There's the dimmer and the power cord. Now this thing says output on this side, input on this side. So I'm going to guess this is the power cord. Looks like you just line up that hole right there. And got a little tab right there in there. Lines up with the tab right there. It won't go in the other way. Screw it on. Screw this together. That was pretty simple. I actually like these connectors. That was easy to use and didn't even have to try to figure anything out. So I got this one over here, and you know, honestly, this one only has 2. That one has 3, so there's no way you get them mixed up. Same thing. Got a little tab in there. Shut it. And that's in there. There we go. A little screw connector. So this is put together. Nice little dimmer. 0. So it's got a click to turn on. All the way smooth to 100. It's a variable. It doesn't have a click, so you can go all the way to 100 and then all the way back down. And it's not one of those strange ones that's 100 and then, or rather, off and then 100 and dims down. I've got a couple like that. This one actually just turns on and dims all the way up to 100, or rather increases all the way to 100 and dims down. So that was really easy. This is put together. I'm gonna show you how I will be hanging this. I'm sure this worked just fine. I just hook one hanger over one side, and run the other piece over to the other side. And that hanger, run it over the bar. That way I can get as much headroom as I can in the tent. It's ready to go. Let's go put this in a tent. What a nice looking light. Real impressed. Thanks, Panadol. All right. So we get this thing set up in a 2x2 tent, hanging about 18 inches. In fact, exactly 18 inches from the bottom. I will say I had to use different ratchet straps than the ones that came with it, as they were not long enough to go this far down. That's okay, normally you wouldn't have it that far down anyway, unless you were trying to do a part test, or maybe if you were running it really, really low on the dimmer and just had some cones or something underneath it, you might need it this low, but so you can just turn it up a little bit if it was up, and it'd be fine. But anyway, we'll get this set up so that we can do some ad hoc par tests on it. Did a couple readings. It's been sitting here on 100% for a good hour or so now. So I think, here's a little dimmer right here. So just to show you it's 100%. I think we could do a quick heat test on this. Just to show you this heat gun here. And you can see that. It's like about 118, 115 degrees, and closer to the driver. 120, 125 in the center, 26 right on the driver. It is 137, 138. 138 degrees is the hottest point, and it moves all the way out to 114 on the edge. No, that's not too bad really. It's got, you know, nice little spacer underneath the driver, so it's not heating up the board too much, and it doesn't feel really all that hot. I mean, I guess it does run a little warm. The driver's pretty warm, but the board itself isn't too bad. You know, is what it is. Not sure if you really do anything different with it. It looks like that driver has no cord for taking it out. It's actually going to be fine for me because I'm running this thing in a basement next to a concrete wall that actually gets pretty cold here in the winter in the Northeast, so we'll need this heat in this tent to keep the plant warm. So it's fine with me. We don't like to run a lot of extra heaters while we're growing if we can help it. So, alright, that's not too bad. And we got this on 100%. I'll show you what's going on. Wattage test. It's a kilowatt hour, so we get 0.31 kilowatt hours is what this draws. Just wondering. 196 watts. Running for a couple hours. It's pretty close to 200. We're going to bring it all the way down to the lowest setting. That is about 17.3 to 17.5 watts. And as you can see, it's still making some light. Turn that back up a little bit. Show you how it looks. You have the far reds. That's what those extra ones were. And the different colored whites. Pretty nice little board. It's in this tent, real nice. We're gonna do a couple little power readings. I'll have to use the phone to do that, so we'll be right back. All right, so we got the Photon app on my Android phone. It's an old Galaxy S8. Seems to work pretty well on it. I don't know, perfect. It's probably not as good as a real bar meter, but it gives you kind of a good idea. This thing's at 18 inches exactly. Centered in this 27 by 27 tent, and I'm getting about 616, 617 in the very center of the light. And as I move it towards the edge lengthwise, drops down 500, 400, all the way to the edge of the tent. It's like about 466. And comparatively, if I bring it back this way, 462. So pretty close to the same. And if we go all the way to the edge of the tent, the short distance, the narrow way, we get 442. Good number, 443 on that side. And 415 on that side. I notice if you bring it out a little bit, it drops down slightly. Then you go closer, it comes up because of the reflectivity of the sides, probably. But I think this is a fairly accurate representation of what you can get. It's kind of a nice even spread in this tent. We're going to drop this down a little bit closer, try it at the foot, and see what we get. So here we are at a foot, and right in the center, we get 1035 ppfd. Not too bad. See what the spread's like. Move towards the far side, dropping down to 900 or so, 800. All the way to 775 at the edge. Pretty evenly. Right to this side, check it. That's just 635. I'm thinking something's off there. 6. I don't know. I'm guessing because we don't have the wall here, the reflective wall, we're losing quite a bit. But it drops down all the way to like 650 on this side. So yeah, not quite as good that way, but like I said, I think it's just because the doors are open. We'll move it this way. We're halfway across, we're down to 440, which was all the way across before. Get all the way to the far wall, drops down to just below 400. The other side, just below 400. So honestly, kind of seems like a foot's not really a bad height for this. Might want to bring it up to about 14 inches off the canopy, maybe 16. I'll check it. That might be too much light though if you're not running CO2. I mean, on it, and probably 16 inches. We're going to try that. See how the plant's like it. I think we may have been running the other light a little too close in some of my tents. Getting some light stress. If you don't have the conditions dialed in, you can't really max the plant out. So I believe that's something to think about. This light, overall, I'm really impressed with it. We'll raise it up and look at it again real quick. Hang on. All right. This thing is looking great. Super impressed. Lights up the whole tent real nice. We're gonna get a plant in here. Scrog it out under this thing. Crank it up and see how it does. I And to move the carbon filter over to the other side so this would fit in there centered, because it takes up almost the entire tent, which is great. You can see we got a fan on it right now, which most people have some sort of fan in their tents, either blowing on the thing or their lights or on the plant at least, to move the air around. And what I found was that since I put the fan on, temperatures that went, you know, to 113 to 118 or so are now at 78 to 80, and the temperature on the driver is 97 and a half, less than 100 now. So just one little tiny crappy fan made all the difference in the world. Nice light. It's gonna be great. It's got a fan already. Jasmine, superstar, just loves it. Love that light, Jasmine. Right. Ready for some plants in there. She is a pretty good helper. She's learning anyways. Say hi to the people, Jasmine. We gotta go. Ready to check out Panvillo Mate 2000 on Amazon. I'll post the link below. And yeah, nice light. Thanks, guys. Let's get to growing. Polish Hammer and Jasmine out. Good girl. You love that light? Pretty nice, huh? Oh, that's a pretty nice light, I know.
Next Christmas gift, chainsaw.